Okay, guys, so today we're going to talk about reciprocal trig functions, and it's important to know what the word reciprocal means. Any ideas?
Flip it and negate it.
Just flip, okay? Just flip.
It's like the J Cole, and now we're flipping like reciprocal.
Oh my gosh, J. Cole, thank goodness. What does it say? We're flipping like reciprocal? There we go, remember J. Cole. Alright, so if you guys had like 2/3, the reciprocal would be 3/2. Those of you guys who are thinking negative, that's with perpendicular lines. When you're doing slope, you take the negative reciprocal, that's why. Okay. So, for what you guys have known in trig so far, you've all seen sine, cosine, and tangent from back when you guys were in middle school, right? Now, there's not just 3. There's really 6. Okay, there's 6 trig functions. So, there's things called the reciprocal trig function, and this is their name, right? You have secant, and if you want to like spell it out, it's called S-E-C-A-N-T, right? Secant. Okay. And secant's reciprocal is the cosine. So I like this little trick. C's and S's go together, so you can remember which ones are made up of which. So the secant, since it starts with an S, it goes with the reciprocal of cosine. So the S and C. Right. Now, cosecant, so this one's called cosecant. Okay. This one starts with a C, so it's going to go with sine, which is an S. So it's going to be the reciprocal of whatever the sine is. Cotangent's cool because it's cotangent. Okay. You guys have some options with cotangent. Cotangent is the same thing as the reciprocal of tangent, or we also know that tan, what is tangent made up of? What over? Good, sine over cosine, awesome. So another way you could think about cotangent and cotan and tan are reciprocal is if I flip sine over cosine, we get cosine over sine. So these aren't as bad as they look. If you guys know your ordered pairs and you're able to get your exact values, all we're going to do is one extra step. We're just going to be flipping things. Right? Now, with quadrants, because now we have 6 trig functions, they share the same properties, the same positive and negative values as what they're made up of. So, let's see. In quadrant 1, okay, all of them are going to be positive still. So, the secant is positive, the cosecant is positive, and the cotangent is positive. Right? So all 6 of them are still positive in quadrant 1. Now, the S being positive, this is for sine being positive. Which one of these goes with the sine? Which one? Cosecant. This one's got the sine, so cosecant is going to go with it. So cosecant is going to be positive in the second quadrant. A little tricky. It's more memorizing than anything. The T stood for tangent being positive, but now we also don't have just tangent. We have its reciprocal function. That's going to be positive here. Good or cotangent. The last one, this is where cosine is positive. So when you look up here, which one went with the cosine? Secant. Good, so secant is positive here. It's tough to remember what goes with what. Remember C's and S's. That's the easiest way. Now, you guys have been working a lot with ordered pairs. Okay? This little problem is an example of just an ordered pair in the second quadrant. And I'm going to ask you guys to find the exact values. Now, with your cosine, sine, and tangent, do you guys remember which one of the ordered pairs was first? Cosine. Good. So if I want the cosine here, it's just -1/2. Yep. What would your sine be? What? Did you say no because it was a tangent? I know. We're such a pain. There's so much more work. So yeah, I know tangent stinks because we don't have tangent from an ordered pair. We're going to have to calculate the sine over the cosine.
-3.
Oh gosh, you guys are fast at this. There's the sine divided by the cosine So we already do a copy change flip? Yeah. Rational fact. Alright, 2's can go. Good, so we got negative radical 3? Awesome. Alright, how did we do with those? Pretty easy from what we've been doing so far? Now, don't freak out because you have new ones, right? If you can know what they match up to, all we're going to do is flip the fraction. That's it. So it's just using the reciprocal. Now, secant went with which one? Sine, cosine, or tangent? Cosine, good, because it's an S. It's got to go with the C. So these two are reciprocal functions of each other. So if you know the cosine, all we're going to do is we're going to flip the fraction, and that's what your secant is. So the secant is just -2. Oh, we gotta get rid of it. Just like the word you guys have.
Wait, this one?
Yeah.
The next one? When you flip it,
Yep, good job, guys. Wow. Yeah, nice work. So, just what you guys were saying, the next one, sine and cosecant are reciprocal, so we're going to flip your fraction. Okay, and just what you noticed, we can never have a radical on the bottom. So, no matter what, we still need to get rid of it. Okay, so we are going to multiply it by radical 3. So we get 2 radical 3 over 3. Good, that's it. Okay, well, cotangent, you got some options. You guys could do a couple different ways. For cotangent, we can take the cosine over the sine and divide those if we want to. Or we could take the tangent and flip this. So it's up to you which one you want to use. I think it's probably easier if you know the tangent just to flip it rather than doing all this math again. So, if you're going to do the tangent, since you already know what this is, it's probably easier to flip. What would this be over, though? It's not written. 1. Good, okay. So, if I'm going to flip this whole thing to get cotangent, what's going to be on the top now? 1 over. Good, okay. So, we got to rationalize again. Get rid of that radical 3. We get a 1 times radical 3 is radical 3. And on the bottom we have, well, radical 3 times radical 3 is just 3. Yep, and it's negative. Was that as bad as it looked? No. Okay. But do you see how important it is to know your ordered pairs for the regular ones? Yeah. So if you don't know those, you can't get any of these. Okay. So you're going to be doing a lot of the same stuff. We're just going to have to be flipping the fractions once we find our answers. That's it. Like the only difference. Now, we could also see positive and negative quadrant stuff, like what we did when we did sine, cosine, and tangent. So, if you guys do get reciprocal functions mixed in, it's okay. It's just asking you what quadrant you would end in. I know we talked about this before. If you have your sign less than 0, does that mean positive or negative? Negative. Good, negative. And then cotan bigger than 0, that means positive. Great. So if you need to make your little ASTC here, we want to figure out what quadrant do we need to be in for all these things to be true. Okay. And if it helps you guys, especially when you're dealing with your reciprocal function like cotangent, think about what was cotangent's main function? Where did it come from? Tangent, good. So this is just another way to say tangent has to be positive. Which one would you guys have to be in? Good, tail 3. It's got to be in quadrant 3, because that's where the tangent's positive, but sine would be negative there. Take a second, let's see if you guys can figure out what quadrant we're going to be in for this one. And again, just make sure if it's easier for you, it says secant, think secant goes with cosine. Yep, so cosine is going to be negative, and cotan went with tangent is also going to be negative. So you want to think, what quadrant is that going to work in? It's cotan and secant. Nice, yeah, good. So most of you guys think 1? No.
No,
Oh, good, right, yeah, can't do that. So I saw a lot of the twos being held up, quadrant 2. Good. Because in here, the only thing that's going to be positive would be the sine or the cosecant. Everything else would be negative in that quadrant where these would be negative. Good job. Awesome. All right, flip it over. You guys are doing super so far. Okay, so we've been dealing with the idea of finding an exact value quite a bit. All right, we've been doing this like over and over with 30, 60, 45. Now we did reference angles. Now we have reciprocal function. So, I know, it's crazy. What happened exactly? No, nothing we do. Listen, guys, nothing we're doing today is on your quiz tomorrow. Okay? Right. I'll talk about your quiz at the end. So our steps for finding the exact value are going to be the same thing. We're still going to draw the angle in standard position. So I'm going to figure out where my 60 is. We're in here. Then I want to decide if I'm going to be positive or negative there. Well, I'm talking about secant, and I'm in quadrant 1. Positive, good. All right, awesome. So we know we have something that's positive. Now, here's the big thing. We want to decide, find the trig function that corresponds to the reciprocal function. Well, instead of secant, I'm not going to find secant. What could you guys find instead? What does it go with? Cosine, good. So I'm going to find the positive cosine of 60. All right, so using your ordered pairs, this is why they're so important. Do you guys remember what the cosine of 1/2 is? Oh, 1/2. Good, 1/2, and then radical root 2. No, you're right, Steve. So the cosine there is really a positive 1/2. Now, I don't want cosine, I want secant. So what do you have to do with your fraction? Flip it. Good job. Oh, thanks, yeah. So if we flip it, it's really just 2.
Could you just leave it 2/1 though?
Yeah, you can leave it as 2/1. It's not wrong, but you won't see the 1.
This is easier. This is easier, yes. Because with the other one, you have to like figure out if it's negative or positive, and you gotta do math. And
Oh, some of them you guys have to do that too, though. We're not done yet. That was a nice one. Okay.
Wait, can you scroll over?
Yeah.
Did you get a longer setting for that?
I did. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry. No.
She got some really good schools. Really like straight.
For your secant 120, okay, same deal. We're going to figure out where is the 120. Okay. And then we want to decide, are we positive or negative there? All right, we're in the F quadrant. So remember, secant goes with cosine. Negative. Good, Brittany. So it's negative. Awesome. All right, so negative cosine of, well, let's figure out the reference angle. So, Christina, we still got to do that. 60. Good. All right, well, with your 60 degree of cosine, what was 60?
1/2.
1/2, good. Yep, so we have negative 1/2 is the cosine of 60, negative cosine of 60. Yep. Flip. Negative 2. That's it. Okay. So you're finding your regular functions that you guys have been doing. Just at the end, you got to flip it to get that reciprocal function. All right, let's try another one. Cosecant of 45. Okay. Oh, I love when they're in quadrant 1. So much nicer. Okay, so we have our 45. What does cosecant go with?
Oh.
Sine. Good. C's and S's. So cosecant goes with the sine. Well, what is the sine at 45?
Radical 2/2.
Good. Radical 2/2. So if I want to get the cosecant of 45, I'm just going to take my fraction and flip it. Okay, so we get 2 over radical 2.
2/2.
Can we leave it like that?
Oh,
No.
2 radical 2.
Good, and so 2 radical 2 over 2. And then what can we cancel out?
The 2.
The 2. Good.
So it's radical 2.
Just radical 2.
So if you didn't cancel the 2s, would it be wrong?
They'll usually say something if this was like a part 2 question, they'll say in simplest form so that they would like try to read your point out. But if it's like a multiple choice, you probably would not have that as an option. You know, you might be able to like catch what you have to reduce. Great question. Let's try 4. Cotan Oh, I know, stupid tangent. Alright, so cosine of 210. So 210. Oh gosh, that's not the right one. We are, you're right. 210 for AST. Alright, so we are in the T quadrant talking about cotangent. Positive or negative? Positive. Great. Okay, good. So this is like saying the positive tangent. Well, here's our 180, here's 210. 30. 30, good, okay. Now, we have some options here. Okay. Alright, yeah, we could figure out the tangent and we can flip it. Okay. Which is one way. Let's do it that way so you guys can kind of see the difference. Okay. So if I want to figure out the tangent of 30, we have to do sine of 30 over the cosine of 30. 1, good. And then very incorrect. Okay. Great. Copy, change, flip. Very nice. What could cancel here? Let's get rid of those. We have 1 over radical 3. Rationalize, yep. So radical 3 over 3. Okay. So this is just the tangent. Now if we want cotangent, what do we have to do with this fraction? Flip. Good. So if we flip this, we get,
Oh my god.
oh, I know, 3 over radical 3.
Love this.
3 over 3.
Good. Yep, 3 radical 3 over 3. Cancel the 3.
Oh my god.
Just radical 3. Now I want to show you guys.
Good.
All right, hang on. Okay. I want to show you guys 2 ways to do this because when we start doing cotangent, it just depends, what's easier. You could always find the tangent and flip it, but if you don't already know the tangent, cotangent of 30 would be the same thing as the cosine 30 over the sine of 30. So this is the other way you could do it. Instead of getting the tangent first and then flipping, we could find the cotangent by doing the cosine over the sine. So if you did it this way, I'm going to show you what happens. You would get your radical 3 over 2 divided by 1/2. Yep, good. Copy, change, flip, and you're just left with
I thought I was wrong.
radical 3, and then you're done.
That's how I did the first time.
You're good, Kayla. You're
I thought I was
clever.
wrong though.
No, you're not wrong. That's clever. Good job. So 2 ways to do it. One way was much longer than the other one. Are they both correct though? Absolutely. Okay. And that happens a lot with cotangent. It's kind of just,
That's irritating.
sorry. There we go. Okay. So let's try 5. You guys want to try this one on your own?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you guys try 5 and 6? And then I want to talk about 7 with you. You can try 7 too if you want, but try to see if you can 5 and 6. Yeah, you got it. Want to do it again? Whatever's right.
What did I start doing?
Oh, just rationally. Oh.
It is.
Good, and then just don't forget to use your hands. Just give it there. Good job.
Wait, Caitlin,
Oh yeah. -2 on that side. Okay. Oh yeah, I was sure. What you guys thinking?
Yep.
Mr. Craig.
Oh, yeah.
Your first one. Thinking about it Friday.
Yeah.
Well, my guys are really every time. Yeah. My mother hates. Yeah. Their mom and dad are right next to me. It's not bad at all.
Question.
I was going to know from my mom on the show that it's a car campaign. I'm confused and I just tried it backwards. Not actually backwards, but it's fine.
I'm doing it right now.
Did you say it's second?
What'd you say?
Wait, we're actually doing tangent?
Yeah, but you have to do sine over
Oh,
cosine.
no. Is it negative one?
What?
Is it negative one?
No.
Because it's in a piece of
Yeah, then it's negative. I didn't know if it was negative. I mean, I got negative, but I didn't know what else it was.
Great job. This was great, Keelan. Good work. Just make sure you guys are very careful with your signs, especially.
Is that right?
Yeah, how do I know what's negative? Let's see, right here, the whole thing, look at it in general, like at the end of that, that might be easier for you.
Okay,
So, cosine, so that's going to be positive in the third quadrant. So in this quadrant, it's going to be negative, so put it on the answer, your answer should be negative. Now, when you guys do your cotan 330, okay, make sure we're careful, 330's over here, okay, here's your 360, and ASTC, remember cotan goes with the tangent, so is cotan positive in the fourth quadrant? No, it's going to be negative. Now, instead of doing, when you have cotan, remember we have options. Do we know what the tangent of this is? No. But I know I have 30 degrees as my reference angle. So if you guys don't know the tangent, it might be easier to go for the cosine over the sine. Or you could do the tangent and flip it. It's up to you. So if you guys did this, radical 3 over 2 over 1/2, and we did our copy, change, flip, right, we should just be getting negative radical 3 here. How was that? Most of you guys remember okay? I just want to quickly talk about this secant of 270 because I know we were a little bit, we didn't really like using those weird numbers like this. If you guys have something with a 270, a 360, a 180, a 0, draw your picture, right? 270, a little bit. So here's 270. You're going, your ordered pair is 0, -1. Because you're not going left or right, you're going down 1. So when we talk about the secant, secant's really corresponded with the cosine. Well, let's see, what's the cosine of 270? 0. Okay, so the cosine of 270 is 0. Now, cos 270 equals 0. What is any whole number over? 1. Okay, so I want to find the secant, flip it, so we get 1 over 0. But what is anything with a 0 in the bottom? Undefined. Good job. So your answer here is undefined. I know, it's a little weird. Okay, you guys did